I, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Today, I'm taking a look at ADA, Cardano, against US dollar Tether. We're going to be taking a look at some of the technical aspects about price action moving forward. We're going to be taking a look at what we think the direction is for price action in the very short term. Now, we've been in a pretty substantial uptrend since pretty much March of last year, going from all the way down at 2 cents. We're now sitting at $1.32. Insane gains in a year. Throughout this uptrend, we've seen interaction with this trend line that we've respected kind of since the uptrend began. When we first fell through it in September of 2020, we didn't come all the way down to my 7-cent support line. We danced between 13 cents and 7 cents for several months before finally breaking 12 cents, 13 cents, and then holding above it. Cardano seems to like to consolidate sideways after breaking a key level. A month of sideways before continuing on again. We break the $25 resistance, 25-cent resistance, sorry, all the way up to the 37-cent resistance. We bounce in this range for a good 26 days, almost a month. After breaking it, we've rallied all the way past $1 from this swing high. We've stayed pretty sideways for the majority of March. Now, I suspect with such a parabolic uptrend like this, because we are up, I believe like 600-something% since the beginning of this year. Yeah, we're up a good 650% almost since the beginning of 2021. And a rally like that does require some sort of cooling off, some sort of sideways reaccumulation, consolidation, as this is a very aggressive upward movement. Nothing goes straight up. So I suspect, based on current price levels and with the very technical lower high that this most recent pump has produced in the last kind of few days after bouncing off of the $1 sort of level, we have closed with a lower high compared to the swing high at $1.48. This candle yesterday came up only to $1.47. Very minor difference, but still a technical lower high. If this candle closes where it is, I suspect bearish momentum coming into play, more sideways to occur. I suspect over the next kind of few weeks, another interaction with this trend line. A good zone to watch out for if we do dip back to again, I believe is it's kind of around here. These sort of $1 to $1.08 range, I believe, will be a nice zone to reaccumulate before the uptrend continues. Now, when we turn on EngineeringRobo, we see new perspective coming into play. Since back in 2020, we've got big buy signals coming into play. Super buy for moon during the sideways. Sell for, just a flip back to buy for, super buy during the sideways still. Cloud buy, finally, as we break upward. As we hold above 13 cents, super buy comes into play, and we've been rallying ever since. If you take a look at Cardano against Bitcoin, we bounced off of the 3,084, 3,090 Satoshi level. Came all the way back down to 1,800. Held, pumped, created a more obvious lower high on this chart. We've come down, but we are looking to find support so far along the 2,113 Satoshi level. Holding support along here, I believe, is very bullish during this reaccumulation. Now, when we turn on EngineeringRobo, we see a new perspective. Buy for Moon, Super Buy, Cloud Buy, all back in the beginning of this year, January. We rallied against Bitcoin, Super Buy, to pump us all the way to 3,200 Satoshi. We got rejected. Sell for hell briefly as everybody was selling as we were coming below this support line. But after a few days sideways at 1,800 Satoshi, we pumped right back up past the 2,100 Satoshi level, and we are looking to hold. This buy for and cloud buy still in play suggests there is enough bullish momentum to hold sideways along this line. We might see some dips back in, but there does seem to be enough buy pressure to hold at this sell wall. We take a look at Cardano against USDT again, and then we look at EngineeringRobo's fear and FOMO zones. We are well into the FOMO zone. As we all know, as Cardano was approaching $1, everybody was quick to buy into it, suspecting it to very much continue. But in the FOMO zone, there is many a trader taking profit, but there's also traders FOMOing in, afraid of missing out on Cardano gains, so they buy the pumps, buy the dips, buy at tops. But in this range, prices are very volatile and should be watched very closely. There is very high sell pressure in this range, which is why I suspect further sideways and perhaps yet another interaction with this trend line. Cardano does like to trade sideways after some pumps. It likes to trade sideways for almost longer than it pumps for. It likes to trade sideways and break down for people to buy dips. So I very much suspect further sideways, perhaps a few more dips around the $1 level to reaccumulate. If we cannot hold $1, my perspective will have changed and a new analysis will be required. But so far, I believe there is enough bullish momentum to continue the uptrend past the $1.50 level. We look at the fear and FOMO zone for Cardano against Bitcoin. We are nowhere near the FOMO zone yet in terms of Cardano's price against Bitcoin. We're another 78% away from the FOMO zone against Bitcoin. Another 78% on Cardano. Looks like something like this. $2.50 almost, just about $2.30. Now, that does not seem very far-fetched at all with Cardano's current fundamental momentum. But with such a rally like this since the beginning of the year, I suspect some prolonged sideways, perhaps a couple months of sideways, as we reaccumulate, establish $1 as support. Perhaps another psychological level around the 75-cent to 70-cent range. But I believe we should be able to hold $1 to high 90 cents over the course of the next few weeks. But, of course, we cannot fight the trend. We have to go with the flow of price action. There is no benefit to betting against clear signs and signals. Now, thank you for hearing my analysis. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe here on YouTube, try EngineeringRobo free, and I'll tune in for the next one.